Good afternoon. My name is Dyne. I'm chairman of the Economic Development Commission here in Chelmsford. What I wanted to talk about this afternoon is the proposed overlay district and the rezoning of the 129 area. This is vital to the success and to the future of Chelmsford. But what I want to bring to mind is that this is not a new issue. We've been talking about this since 2009 and then 2010 with the formation of the master plan. This area was identified as an economic development area, and what we have basically is we have 623 acres that represents about 4.7 million square feet and 70 properties. As far as the CIP being the tax base, which is our commercial, industrial, and personal property, that represents nearly half of our commercial base here in Chelmsford. And what's happened in this area is that it's actually underperforming. Okay, now we've been before the planning board several times, and as everybody knows, the public hearing did open up last week or 2 weeks ago, and at that time we had 19 people that came to the podium to talk about the rezone here in the overlay district and the efforts to rezone this area. Of that, there was 7 town meeting reps, there was 7 abutters, and there was 5 other individuals that either had a interest in a property down here or had some background knowledge that they thought would be helpful to the planning board. Now keep in mind, the planning board, what they do is that they're zoning for quality of life issues. They're not concerned about finance issues. I've heard someone say before, basically, is that we're chasing money. Well, okay, that makes for a great soundbite, but it's not really the truth. What we're doing here is that we are basically zoning for quality of life issues. And if you take a look at the overlay district, what we've done here is that we have created a zone. So we have 129 to Mill Street to Turnpike. Along Turnpike there, we've created a buffer zone, and that is exclusion of commercial property, and that allows for multifamily. Now, I want to tell you what the planning board has done is they've crafted a bylaw that actually is very smart, very smart. Great kudos to them. They've put together not only a bylaw that controls growth, but also represents smart growth, okay? So basically, if you want to do anything along 129, it requires a special permit. You need to come back to the planning board, okay? There's 4 R's that are basically, if you will, inclusive in the rezone of 129. You have recreational, you have retail, you have residential, and restaurants. All right, those are the 4 R's. Now, though, why those 4 R's are significant is because what we're trying to create down here is an environment where you can live, work, and play. And why is that important? It's important because the Economic Development Commission has done its due diligence. We have gone forward and we've had public hearings or public meetings with our brokers, and we've had meetings with the landowners down here and the general public. And what we've learned is that basically what we need down here and what the building owners are looking for and the owners of the businesses, what they're looking for, and employees, what they're looking for is an environment where it's live, work, and play. Okay, so this is what an employee wants. They want some place where they can live, where they can work, and they can play. So those encompasses the 4 R's that I just mentioned. So basically, are we chasing money? Okay, money is part of it, and let's be honest with us, okay? But to say that we're chasing money, that's not quite right. When you build a budget, for a public budget for our town, you start off with our base, and you build it up to the tax levy limit, okay? That levy limit basically represents new growth. It represents 2.5%, and it represents about 75% of our tax revenue comes from property tax. Okay, that's commercial and that's residential. So if we're able to enhance the 623 acres down here, which encompasses about 50% of our commercial base, if we're able to enhance this area, we can bring more tax dollars into our coffers, which therefore will save money on residential property taxes. Not only that, but we also have something called local receipts. Local receipts come from things like meal tax, hotel tax. Okay, all these things that would be captured by having well-paying, high-quality jobs in the 129 overlay district.